Welcome back. It's Gary here again, Technical Director from Joint-It, and we're here in Derby this afternoon, and we're accompanied with a five-star landscaper.
Hi, you're all right. I'm Paul, PB Landscapes in Melbourne.
And we're also accompanied with...
Joe, Builders Merchants at Derby.
And the main reason for coming to this beautiful property here today is that Paul has completed this job. Paul, how long has it been completed?
I'd say approximately 2.5, 3 years.
2.5, 3 years. And like, what a warm welcome that the homeowner has invited us, Joint-It, and Paul and Browns as well, to come back to their property to do this interview, if you like, or documentary, whatever way you want to word it. There's around 250 square metres of porcelain laid on this job, and the Joint-It Porcelain Epoxy Grout has been also used on this job 2.5, 3 years ago, Paul. We were going to do this sitting down, Paul, but my first initial thought was, when I came in here to this job, it's really breathtaking when I look, the layout, the design, the level of detail that's been put into this. It's not your ordinary job here, Paul. You don't mind if we just walk through and talk about...
Yeah, certainly, yeah.
Maybe you can take it from here yourself, Paul, just to explain what this was like when you came in first.
So the challenge we had here was the homeowners moved into this house and they had an unusable garden. So this wall was always here and it was lawn from here to the top. So from the house to the top, we're approximately 2.5 metres up the hill. So the spec was, they want a usable garden where they can entertain and where they can socialise and take the sun. So the challenge we had was to give them that. So everything we've done had to be square to the house. So the fact that we're using the epoxy resin with 3mm joints, as we move up here, they wanted a small area of artificial grass. They wanted steps at the top. They wanted planting areas. Of course, there's weep holes in all the walls to take the rain. There's blackjack behind the walls, which is very important, and a lot of people don't do that nowadays.
That's to stop the water from coming through the wall.
To stop the water from coming through the wall, the blackjack is for, and it's also to release the pressure off the walls. Where we are, believe it or not, is very wet. There's a lot of water comes from the top. So where we are is very, very wet. So we have to have weep holes in there, and of course there's a damp.
These guys here, you've got so any water that does retain itself behind the wall, it'll make it
come through them rather than through the brickwork itself being blackjacked. So the biggest challenge was everything is square to that house within a mil. Every wall, every slab we've laid, every coping stone is square. So if we wasn't, you would see a wedge form. So as we move from that area to this, the patios have all got a 1 in 64 because it's a porcelain. It's got to have a 1 in 64. So some people think, well, that's a lot, but it's porcelain. We want the water to flow into the flower beds. We want the steps and the risers all to be the same height. They've got different seating areas here, but more importantly, you've got to have the best products. You've got to have the best grout. It's great laying the best products in slabs. These are a Bradstone slab, but we don't only use Bradstone, we use pavestone as well. And the problem we find is there's a lot of landscapers who'll just put any grout in and they walk away. So we want to make sure our gardens are built to last. So I need to have the best grout. We need to have the best materials.
This job here, when I came in and looked at it first, we come from the landscaping background ourselves. This is completely different level what we have been doing. Probably 18 years ago, Paul. Yeah. Things have changed a lot. This looks like something that you'd see that's AI generated on a brochure. It doesn't, like, until you come in and actually stand here, it's breathtaking. The different levels, like every line is 100%. It's running in line with the property. How did you, when you came in, and this is important for other contractors as well, and we're not underestimating that there isn't contractors out there that's not capable of doing this, but this is not for everyone here, what you've done, to be fair. How did you get your levels and line up? How did you go about planning the whole thing out? Have you designers or?
Yeah, the most important thing is when you come to tackle this, you can't just turn up with a bucket and spade and dig holes. You need it designing like an architect. So we have 2 or 3 designers who work closely with us. So we put a designer onto this. The homeowner sits and talks to the designer, tells them what they like. The designer comes out and they're the ones who get all the levels. So they will give me a design and it's a blank piece of paper with all these walls and levels flat. We have to go off a datum. The issue we had is datum is at the bottom of the house.
Okay.
So we took that datum and put it on the fence up here, a metre. So on this fence there's a screw which is a metre higher than down there, and then everything's off that screw.
Right, right.
So when we look at the datum and it says plus 1 metre 200, we're only going 200 from that place,
Right.
or down. So this has been built exactly to design, to the mill. And on the design, it will show me the way the slabs are going. So it's very important that you start off at the beginning. If your setting out is wrong, the layout is wrong, this is where the problems is. The homeowner says, I don't want that wall there, can you please move the wall across? It's the drawing what would be wrong, not the build. So it's easy to change than it is to build and move a wall.
How long have you been in this industry, Paul, yourself?
I started when I was 15, I left school at 15. I've been doing it now 46 years. I'm 61 this year, well I'm 61 tomorrow. So I started off as a ground worker. So all I've ever done is footings, slab laying, oversights and things like that, blocking and beaming. When I came into landscaping, approximately 25, 27 years ago, it didn't exist. Landscaping didn't exist. There was only ground workers. People had red and yellow slabs and potentially a brick built barbecue, and they was very posh. That's all we had in the industry. There was no grout, there was no slabs. Indian sandstone came into the UK probably 25 years ago.
Non-calibrated,
Yeah,
50 mil,
yeah.
60 mil probably down to
And
10 mil.
that's sort of where it took off. Charlie Dimmock and Alan Titchmarsh came onto the telly painting fences purple. I knew then I was going to set up a landscaping company to do and try and achieve what they was doing. And it's just slowly taken off. There was no internet, of course. It was Yellow Pages and Thompson. So people didn't even know who a landscaper was. They knew what they wanted, but they didn't know who to look for. And it was hard, but now it's very easy, very easy.
It's easier, but it's more compressed now, as in there's more detail as well now, Paul.
A
And
lot of detail, yeah.
what motivates you every morning to jump into that van and get to the job? And because I'd imagine that this is all the kind of work that you do. You said to me earlier on, your work is 30,000 up. That's the kind of work you take on. Am I right in saying that, Paul?
That's correct. We go from 30,000 up to 200,000. So if somebody rung me and wanting a £10,000 patio, unfortunately we're not the right company. My overheads are too big. We specialise in challenges. So what motivates me in the morning? Money is the key thing. But pleasure bringing pleasure to people, homeowners, giving them a dream.
Yeah.
Something which they can use.
And I know you said money because you have overheads, and we're the same as well. Yeah, money absolutely is one part of it, but it's not the main driver. You have to. The money doesn't get you out of bed and push you. It doesn't. But when you see this, it inspires you to go on and do it again.
It does. I get satisfaction. When I left school, I didn't think I'd be doing this, but now it drives me to do this. I just want to keep using products what improves the ability of the work we do, to get the name in and around the local area. A lot of landscapers know who we are because of the work we do. We only do challenging jobs. We do a lot of challenging jobs other landscapers don't want to take on board.
And it must be breathtaking to come back here after 2.5 years, and for the homeowner to be. We met the homeowner there. She's a lovely lady, and she's waving out. It must be. It must give you some satisfaction that you're welcome back to the property where you were 2.5 years ago. You're not thinking, oh, is there a popping flag or a popping bit of jointing material as well, or you're confident coming back knowing that the job you left is the job that it is now.
I'm confident in the products we use.
Yeah.
So it starts with the sand and the cement's got to be right, the mixer's got to be right, the person on the mixer, And then we go to products. We'll only use top quality products, whether it's the manufactured slab, so we won't use a slab which is a cheap slab. We'll only use the best slabs there is. We'll only use then the best grout there is. What's the point in doing all this work and spending tuppence on the grout?
We actually have a question for you, Paul. People is asking which would be the most popular flags that people is asking around the UK, which is the most popular type of flags that you in your project?
For us, it's porcelain. So we only lay porcelain. Everything we do is porcelain. We don't do sandstone and we don't do concrete products. I just believe because most homeowners want a product which is not maintenance free, but minimal maintenance. And there's no black spot and algae and things like that grow on porcelain as often or as much as there is on anything else. So a lot of the people who come to us, or they know they want porcelain straight away for the maintenance.
Yeah, no, that's fine. What would your message be, Paul? You've been at this for many years now to them, and this has been recorded here, but this will be on YouTube forever, and there'll be younger paving contractors or landscapers that would maybe like to get into the industry. What would your message be to the generation coming behind you, coming into this industry, taking on maybe smaller jobs first and working their way up? Maybe share something that might inspire them.
I would say, listen to what people are teaching you. And if people are teaching you, have an opinion, because the person who's teaching you may not be teaching you right. They could also be teaching you wrong. But as time goes on, you can be bad or you could be good, and it's down to the individual to what you choose to be in life. And if you're honest and hardworking and do the best you can, then eventually you'll succeed in getting to this stage.
No, and that's a very honest statement you're making as well, because we think the same in Joint-It. We work extremely hard, and we feel that the products are fairly priced for what they are. And yeah, I suppose, Joe, I'd like to ask you the question is, how do you find the industry over the last 10 years? It's been through quite turmoil times, I think, myself. We'll speak about that in a minute, but what challenges have you seen, and what can you foresee?
I mean, it's been tough over the last year since COVID. The Russia, pirates, Trump, what he's doing, the prices have been here, there and everywhere. So that's been really tough to keep a constant price for the customers. So when these guys are pricing jobs, 6-8 months ahead of the game, the prices aren't jumping up and they're losing money. So that's been a real big issue for us, just to keep it stable really, and keep churning out good products for these guys to use really, and make some money in the background really.
And we're mindful of that as well. Like in Joint-It, the way we work is, and we've a great team of people in Joint-It, and we try and offer the best value as possible. And we start off at the beginning of the year with a price, and then you get fuel surcharges. Plastics has gone up in price, and we're saying, right, the MD Martin Fox will say, how can we pass this on to the builders merchants? We're only after giving them the price for 2026, so we retain that. We take a hit on that. We don't always share that information with the merchant, but I'm sharing that with you now. You spoke the same, Paul. You'll give a price as well, and then you'll experience some price increases for maybe wagons or God knows what. You retain that as well. But yeah, we do retain some of that prices, but it has been quite challenging since COVID really. It's just one way. The prices seem to be going up all the time. And in Joint-It, the way we work is we carry a large reserve of raw material all the time. We bulk buy. The factory is wedged with finished and product and raw material all the time. So we're able to maintain the price, if that makes sense. But
that helps us.
It helps you as well, because again, we know what it's like. We come from the contracting background ourselves. 18 years ago, we had our own paving centre. Shortly after that, for some time, wholesale and natural stone. So I think that's what makes Joint-It unique as well. We spoke about that earlier, is that we understand, Paul, what you're doing on a daily basis. We were doing that for many years. We had our own paving centre, Joe. We understand the challenges that you have. So that kind of makes Joint-It kind of unique within the industry as well. We have an understanding of the challenges that's out there, and we're there to support them challenges, but it's hard work as well. It takes a lot of hard work, and just because you have something doesn't mean that you can take your foot off the pedal.
No.
You have to keep your foot on the pedal at all times. There's raw material coming in, there's quality control checks, there's Like the mixers and Joint-It start at the 2nd of December or the 2nd of January every year, and they don't stop until the 22nd of December. Of course, we'll take our bank holidays and all that, but the production is running all the time. The factory is running all the time. But we're aware of the challenges, and yeah, I think there's brighter days ahead if the truth was to be told. I think we're through the worst of it, for sure and certain. Paul, I'd like to talk to you about the team that you have, that you bring along with you on a daily basis, and the equipment that you have, because it's quite unique. You can talk about that yourself.
Well, the team what come along with me are all young lads now. I've took several apprentices on, and some of the apprentices have gone on to set their own companies up, so that's rewarding on its own. It is a young team I've got with me now, which is good for me, my knees and my back. But we do as best to make life easy for them. In my day, a bag of cement was 50 kilos, it's 25 now. So we have track machines, so we try and avoid pushing wheelbarrows where we can. We've got 2 dumpsters, we've got his own plant, we've got his own digger, we've got his own steel saws, we've got his own tables. So some of the slabs can be 1.5 metres in length, and they take some handling. So we'll have grabos to put suckers on and move them. Everything is there for health and safety, everything is there to make life easier, and if it's easier, it hopefully is quicker. The quality doesn't drop, but the time scale is easier and quicker for us.
Which reflects on the price of the job as well.
It reflects on the price, but I'll be honest, when we price most of our work up, they don't say, oh, can you do it cheaper? They're not interested in cheap. That some of the customers, or most of the customers we deal with, what they want is to make sure that we're capable of coming in and doing the work to a high standard, with the grout, with the slabs, with everything we do. We lay all his own bricks. So the young lads who work for me, we teach them to build. So we have no subcontractors. Everybody is in-house. The only time we get a subcontractor is if there's electric involved. We'll put all the cables out and leave them coiled up just for them to connect up. But machinery, very important.
Yeah, cuts down on labour.
Cost.
I remember, well, the Joint-It Porcelain Epoxy Grout was many years in the makeup. In Joint-It, when we bought it to the market then, I think I remember meeting yourself, Joe, many years ago, and I could see the expression on your face. Oh, geez, looks expensive, it's going to take too much time. But, and even yourself, Paul, as well, there was probably, and I'm sure there was, and we'd like you to speak about this, I'm sure there was some anxiety around the product when you seen it first, about how much time is this going to take, is it expensive? Like a good tube of silicone now, these days, is probably 19 or 17 pounds. Joint-It Porcelain Epoxy Grout is nowhere near that. But maybe you could touch on the anxiety, because we talk to people on a daily basis that have some anxiety around time and cost and performance. But maybe you could share your experience.
Regarding this product, I'm always open to better myself or better the business. So if somebody comes along, Joint-It comes along and says, we've got this epoxy grout, this is this and this is that, I'm interested. I want to know, because I want to make my next patio better than the last patio. Cost doesn't affect me. I'm not interested in cost, I'm interested in quality. If this was done in a cheap grout and it only cost £200 and it was done in a dearer grout, the customer's not interested. The customer wants the best job there is. Time scale, it's not that slow. We have 2 guns going. We have somebody feeding the guns, we have somebody greasing or waxing, we have somebody squirting and somebody barring. And we're very efficient, and it's a production line. If there was only one person, or maybe slower for them, maybe. Yeah. But for us, on a time scale, this is no slower than most of the other types of grouting.
Yeah.
We actually have questions about the grout. So Danny Monroe is asking how much water pressure can the grout take?
Well, yeah, I love my power washers, and Paul, you've seen that video.
Yeah, I've seen the video with the wood. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a power washer test video there where we manifested a power washer to put out 7,500 psi with a turbo spinner. and that didn't knock a dent off the Joint-It Porcelain Epoxy Grout. So I don't believe there's a power washer designed, a domestic power washer designed, that can remove the Joint-It Porcelain Epoxy Grout from the joint. But it's a good question. That is a good question. Joe, I suppose another question for you. It might be a difficult one. I said earlier that I feel that things are cooling down. The industry now is getting relaxed after the turmoil. Whether it's there's been a lot happened since COVID. Is the future bright for the builders merchants? There's a few of them slipping away in the UK. Let's be honest. We've seen a few slip away since COVID. What do you feel they're doing wrong? You're there every day in your own business.
I don't particularly know what they're doing wrong as such. It is tough out there. We've always had a slogan, so it's where service counts. We can't be the cheapest. We just I try and ensure Paul does fantastic work. We just have to provide the product at the right time, at the right price. Honesty is massive. Let Paul know when it's going to be here, when it's not going to be here. He can keep his lad moving, and just be. We've got a really good team from anything from roofing to landscaping, everything like that. So we've got good value in when people come into our business, we can sell them anything from the ground up and finish it properly. And I guess just putting the customer first really, and making sure you sort their needs out really, and deliver good quality products at the right time really.
Yeah, and that's the main focus within Joint-It as well. If you were to ask me what is the focus within the company, it all falls back to customer satisfaction at the end of the day, Joe, doesn't it? If your customer...
Oh, unbelievable, yeah. We, as a merchant, you don't want to provide a load of products that come out. The grouts come out at the jointing, customers are coming back to us. With this kind of stuff and what you guys do online and all the how-to videos, it's so easy for the guys, and it means that the customers get a 100% quality job finished and there's no comebacks on it. And you guys are great for that for us. Really good.
Yeah, I know, customer satisfaction, and look at I say it, and I've said it openly a good few times. Within Joint-It, we're very focused on production, but when a merchant, a contractor or a homeowner has an inquiry, and the marketing department will be very aware of this as well. Hi Natasha. We drop everything and we'll try and go and answer that question straight away if we're not in a meeting. It's very important, because coming from that industry ourselves, we understand what an unanswered question can mean for a contractor having to hop in the van in the evening and go home and they have an unanswered question about one of our products. So we feel it's our responsibility to try and get that question answered before 5 o'clock that day. Generally when an inquiry comes to a builder's merchant within the UK, it'll go to a Joint-It business development manager. It's dealt with pretty quickly, I believe myself. But sometimes as the technical director, it might be passed on to me. But again, I'll drop everything I'm at, and I'll try and jump on that. And you've experienced that, Paul. And I'm not here to upsell Joint-It. I'm not doing that. I'm here to speak about what we do as a team, and we are a team.
Yeah. What you do is good. It's very important that if we've got a problem, it's okay ringing the helpline, and it's okay somebody answering the phone. But the person who answers the phone has got to know the answers and understand the question you're asking. Sometimes some companies, you feel that they're just reading off a card and they don't get what you're asking them. With Joint-It, whenever I've asked a question, I've always had the right answer back. It's always solved a problem, if I've had a problem.
Yeah, and sometimes it might sound like a problem, but it can be a technical question. Yeah. And let's to be fair, let's be honest here, because we are very honest speaking people within Joint-It. You did experience some whitening on top of the joint as well, Paul.
I did on this patio, yeah. Not on the whole garden, on the patio. And we thought, when we was doing it and we finished it and we looked, and the one we're on now was white. And we come to understand what we'd done. So we thought, well, is it a faulty batch of tubes? Is it something, whatever? But what we realised was, it rained. It rained the day we did it. So then we're thinking, is it the wax which is moving onto the Joint-It?
We thought it was.
Yeah, and as time's gone on, the patio's back to the same colour. So it's not stayed white, it has gone back to the same colour. I don't know how long it took to change back to the same colour, but over a period of time, Well, certainly 2.5 years, it's better to say, but it could have gone back after 6 weeks or 6 months. We wasn't here. The homeowner never noticed it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd like to think it was sooner than later,
Yeah.
but I believe that
We've got a solution.
you've got a solution for that, in case it happens to anybody else.
We've worked tirelessly on that as well, and the jointed haze remover removes that whitening, it's a PM tin that's in the air. It's a form of pollution, and it's driven to the ground, to earth, by dampness and rain. And if the jointed porcelain epoxy grout is applied in damp conditions, it may turn white, but the jointed haze remover now removes that immediately within a few minutes. It's a very, very quick process. But I'd be happy enough that jointed porcelain epoxy grout and the porcelain and the walls, Paul, will be here for many years to come. And
I'd like to think so.
it's refreshing to walk in here to see what's possible. I'll be honest with you, I've never been on a job to this extent with the level of detail, Paul. And Monsi is just going around with the camera there. Sorry. Chris Niblett there, he's the business development manager in the area. Chris comes from the landscaping industry as well. So he has an understanding of what way it works, Paul. I know you spoke before about you like people coming from the industry into the supply chain that has an understanding of the industry as well, because it can be frustrating trying to explain what you're looking to achieve if somebody doesn't know what they're talking about.
That's right.
Experience though, isn't it? I think through everything, it's like where you started. You learn from job to job, and when you're speaking to guys like yourself who've been there and done it, you understand the problems these guys are having or we're having as a merchant. And the end goal is to make stuff like this, create environments that we've all worked hard together, you more than us, but to create this thing, and it's gorgeous.
So it's good to hear. A little bit about Browns, if you don't mind, Joe. How many people is in the organisation? Have you got your own grab wagons and for delivery?
So we're a family-run independent merchant. We've got 2 branches in Derby. We run 7 HGVs and a couple of vans. We've got about 100 odd staff nowadays. So it's a big beast really. Got a holding depot in Ambergate where we hold, buy better like yourself, bulk, get better deals. But yeah, we're just thriving, always trying to grow, do the next best thing. There's that many different products and different parts of the business that are growing online and everything like that. Just trying to keep in track with everything and keep moving really.
No, and again, that's refreshing to hear. 100 staff, that's quite a concern.
Yeah, it's quite a beast. Yeah.
It's quite a beast, and our main focus in Joint-It is to support the independent builders merchants. It's always been that way with us. We don't chase down anything. It's builders merchants really. The independence is what we focus on, and again, I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd want to be, Paul, today on this July day with the sun shining than on this garden talking to yourself. And thanks for having us here and welcoming us here.
It's a pleasure. It's nice that people see it and appreciate what we do.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You spoke as well earlier to me, Paul, before we started this interview, is that it's easier now for landscapers to promote what they do if they're proud enough of what they've done. And maybe you can touch on that as well.
Well, in the olden days, nobody ever saw what you did. Nobody could find you to see what you do. And you used to have to go around with a photo album and a portfolio and go around on people's and sit in the front room and show them pictures. Nowadays, we can take a picture and it's live. So nowadays, people should have Facebook linked to their business, a private Facebook, and there's Instagram and all sorts of things now. So people can portray the work, people can see the work. Hopefully there's nobody cheating and stealing people's work and sticking it on their pages. And hopefully the good guys get recognition for what they're doing. There's a lot of bad guys out there, we know, and some of them aren't bad, they just don't know what they're doing. They've just not been taught correct. And they think they're doing it right, and then a professional comes in and think it's not right, but to them it's right.
And again, that's experience though, isn't it? You learn that.
It's down to experience, but some experience can be wrong to start with. So youngsters are picking up the wrong experience.
Yeah, agreed.
But
we get a lot of traffic through the live chat on the Joint-It website, just homeowners and mainly homeowners that's asking questions maybe about a job that's been done and they have a question mark around something. Once we take one look at a photo, we know straight away what's the problem is. We know it's not the product anyway because the products go through rigorous tests before they're dispatched.
Yeah.
But coming from the field, you just need a quick glance at a photo and you'll say, doesn't look right there. But let's dig deeper. So we'll reach out to the homeowner, we'll talk to them, but then there's other underlying issues that's going on. And not all the time, like 10%, I suppose, really. But it's good that you come from the field, you can pick up on that straight away. You don't have to make a phone call to someone else, say, what do you think that's gone wrong? You know straight away by looking at it that that's not right, and you have a good idea of what went wrong. And you'll know that yourself. You can take shortcuts as well, but it'll come back to bite you.
It'll fail. Yeah, whatever you do, if you don't do it right, will fail eventually. Whether it's the grout, whether it's the footings under the walls, whether it's the amount of stone or sand and cement's been mixed at the right ratio. If you cut corners to try and save a bag of cement or a few bags of ballast or anything, it could and it will eventually come back to you. This garden's here to last forever. I'd like to think anyway.
It's a race to the bottom, and even in Joint-It, when COVID hit, you're looking at the price of raw material and the fuel surcharges and all that goes with it, and you're saying, right, okay, and then you start talking to your suppliers, you start to bulk buy more to ring fence the price for you guys for the year, Joe. But we never look at an alternative to make a more margin on a product where we'll buy in a cheaper glue. We'll never do that. And Martin Fox there as well, MD in Joint-It, he'll agree with me as well. He's the same mindset. The quality has to be consistent.
That's correct.
And the staff within Joint-It as well in the production area, we've had the same staff since word go, whether it's accounts, orders, dispatch, you know the way it works, Joe. And I'm not trying to upsell it, but it's very diligent. Everyone is very connected to the business, and they all take leadership in what they do, and we let them take leadership in what they do. And we're proud of the staff in Joint-It, and I couldn't be here today myself without the team and the staff that we have built around us over the years. And we're going to build on that as well. Joint-It's a global company, but the UK and Ireland is very important to us. We've dedicated staff in the UK here. They're on call 5 days a week. And we're looking to build and maintain on that, Joe, and support you as a builders merchants and support any questions that Paul has as well. I'd like it just to bring you down here. We've actually improved on for no reason really the Joint-It Porcelain Epoxy Grout electric gun. We've new guns, American guns that will be coming upstream in the next few months, and I would like to talk to you, Paul, about this. So this is the new Joint-It. This is the new Joint-It porcelain epoxy grout gun here. So basically, the only difference really is there's a digital dial there
To tell you the battery power.
to show the battery power. The gun is actually the same, really, to be honest with you, Paul.
And did you know that the battery, you can also use Makita battery?
We knew that, and we didn't want to promote Makita, but
No, but just in case somebody picks the gun up and the battery's flat and they're all set up to go, if they've got a Makita battery,
that's good to know.
It fits because it's all from Germany.
Yeah. It's a German gun and application gun. And again, the profits that we make on these are really, really tight. We keep the profits on these extremely tight because without the tools, you can't apply the product. I'd like to talk to you about the finishing tool as well. There's new finishing tools as well, Paul, coming upstream in the next 2 months. That's a titanium flat bar finishing tool. It's really strong.
Yeah.
The finishing tools that's there at the minute, they're okay. They're okay, but as you know yourself, they bend quite easily.
They're disposable.
They're disposable.
Is the word, and that's how we look at them. So when I buy off Joe, I don't buy one scraper. I'll buy
20, 30.
Scrapers with the tools inside. I'll buy 10 or 15, 20 of these, the wax at a time. It's important for me that I've got stock. So the last thing I want to do is start a project and we've got one tub of wax and we're miles from Joe or anywhere else. So I have a big stock of all your tools. So every day when we're pointing, we've got them, and they're disposable.
And they're
This
disposable.
isn't. This one wouldn't be disposable.
And that reflects on the price of the disposable tools as well. They will be a little bit more expensive.
They'll come out their wages if they lose them.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. They are disposable tools, and the price reflects that as well at the same time.
does, yeah.
And if you lose them, it's not the end of the world.
No.
These are not going to be over the top in money, but they are going to be a few pounds.
Yeah, I can see that they're built more sturdy.
expensive. That's just a selection of tools there that comes with the kit itself. And as yourself, you were probably one of, if not the first, but there wasn't many guys that jumped on the epoxy in the UK before you jumped on it, Paul. So what we'd like to do in Joint-It is we would like to give you this as a present.
Oh, thank you. That's very
To
kind
yourself.
of you.
Yeah. No, it's our pleasure. We'd like to give you that as a present from Joint-It UK Limited. And
Thank you.
yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome,
appreciate
Paul.
that.
And I think that's kind of, I think we've a lot covered here today. Paul, I think we've everything covered. And again, thanks for having
No, thank you.
Joint-It UK Limited here at Derby today. It's 250 square metres laid here.
There's a 270 square metres
really?
with the copings, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
with the
okay.
front, the side and the back, yeah.
Yeah.
And most of our jobs tend to be over 100 square metres,
Yeah.
well over, yeah.
And your porcelain is purchased from
Browns,
Browns
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
So this is Bradstone, this is direct to site or comes through Travis Perkins, which we don't really lay now. We're on to pavestone, which all comes through Browns. Everything comes through Browns now. So pavestone, quality slab, and we only want quality. If somebody says we've got a slab for £30, £22 a square metre, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
They don't cut very well, they're bowed, and it creates problems when you're grouting.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, and we're going to wrap this up shortly, are you on a job at the minute? Are you on a job at the minute?
I'm
or
always on jobs. Yeah, yeah.
The job you're on at the minute, is it quite large as well, or?
It's not as intense as what this is, but I've got jobs coming up early next year. I've got 2 jobs as big as this.
Okay.
January, February, March and April. They'll take me approximately 5 months for the 2 jobs. Yeah, and they're as intense as this. One job is on my Facebook page where a customer, going back to talking, they paid £55,000. You've seen it, haven't you, Joe? It's on my Facebook page. They paid £55,000. It's local to this area, and it's all been condemned. A certain person, Gareth Wilson, condemned it, did a 40-page dossier on it, and he recommended us to do the work. And it's going to cost them an awful lot more than that to rip everything out and start again. But that'll all be all product, and it'll all be pavestone.
Wow, unbelievable. And just before we go, Joe, I would just like to throw it back to yourself as well. I know we met many years ago when I was standing in front of you and you were looking at the Joint-It Porcelain Epoxy Grout, and I could kind of see, I'm not sure, now that you've been here and you've seen Paul has bought hundreds and hundreds of tubes of what would your message be to other merchants, not in this area but across the UK?
Well, I think it's to give it a bash, really. I think everyone's quite. All the contractors are very used to what they lay, so they don't want to change. It's worked before, so sometimes they're not as willing to jump onto new products and stuff like this. But you know, give it a go. You've got to have good landscapers behind it to push it forward for you. But yeah, give it a go, because there is some amazing products coming out there, just like this one.
Yeah, no, that's thanks for that, Joe. Thanks for that, and Paul, thanks yourself. Monsi, is there any questions, or is everything okay?
It's all answered.
That's all answered. That's good news. So I think that's it for today then, Paul.
Thank you.
Again, thank you very much for having us here, and Joe, thank you very much. Yeah, here, thank you.